I am here. Seth Morgan. Hello, everyone. I will say yes, do the thing, unless it's horrible dad joke, Seth, in which case do not do the
Told
thing.
me no on that a couple of times.
Extra no, like no. All right, Imagine Cuppers, thank you so much for joining us today. As you know, Imagine Cup, we are having our 20th anniversary celebration. That's why you have this lineup of super fans of Imagine Cup and super fans of all of you. And we want to just spend today imparting all of the random information in our heads and give them to you so that you don't make our same mistakes. And that way you can go and make different mistakes and then impart your knowledge onto the next generation. What I want to talk to you today about are bad ideas. Okay? Bad ideas, not good ideas. Everyone's always like, Donna, I need a good idea. What is a good idea? I'm like, forget good ideas. Good ideas are terrible. Bad ideas. All right? So I will tell you a short story of something that happened to me recently. About 3 months ago, I was asked to head up the accessibility tech team for Microsoft. So what this means is I work with all of the product teams at Microsoft, so Windows and Azure and Office and Power Platform and Teams, and make sure that their products are accessible to everybody, not just people who have perfect eyesight, not just people who live in Seattle, Washington, but to everybody. Now, the big question for me was, why me? Why me, Donna? Am I being tapped? Why am I being asked? Why am I being offered this position? I had a dream job before, right? I used to run the advocacy team for the Power Platform, which is a low-code platform. I loved it. I got to build my dream team. I got to work with amazing people. It was so just extraordinary. But the universe brought me this opportunity, and I was very drawn to the space. And right now you're seeing on the screen, just like this weird blue thing. It's like, this is me drawn to something. And I kept asking myself the question, I'm not blind, I'm not deaf, I don't use a wheelchair, I don't have limited mobility in my hands. So why do I belong in the accessibility space? Because how can I truly put myself into the shoes, the hearts and minds of people with disabilities and help build better products for them? Why me? Then something interesting happened. I started doing research. And right now, what we're seeing on the slide is a bunch of information, and I'm going to talk through it with you. There are right now over 1 billion people in the world with disabilities. And this is people who have disclosed, meaning said, hey, I have a disability. And they fall into a bunch of categories. I actually think this number is way higher than 1 billion people. I think most people either don't know they have one or they don't really want to talk about it. So let's talk about some of these categories of disabilities. One is visual. This is things like someone might be colorblind, they might be low vision, or they might be blind. A lot of people as they get older, not any of you probably, but a lot of people as they get older start to lose their eyesight. This comes with age and, accidents and things that may happen. So people get reading glasses, then they get bifocals, and they get other glasses. I wear glasses right now, so this has happened to me. I'm sure you know quite a few people who are colorblind who may not even know it. Apparently, 1 in 12 men are colorblind, but often they don't know it. Ever since I took this job, I've had maybe about 25 different men reach out and say, hey, did you know I was colorblind? I didn't learn that until recently. Isn't that interesting? Okay. Next category is hearing. So this is people who may have hearing loss, who may be hard of hearing, like they may use hearing aids to hear, or they might be deaf, capital D deaf, where they communicate through lip reading or sign language. My boss, Jenny Leigh Fleury, is deaf, capital D. So whenever we have a meeting, she usually has a sign interpreter there who is signing whatever we are saying. And she's also a very good lip reader. So in one-on-ones, she tends to lip read. The third category is cognitive. Cognitive disability was a new concept for me. We also call it neurodiversity. And this means people who have something that I have, which is dyslexia. Dyslexia is where your words get, letters and words and numbers get all mixed up and you see something that's not there. This kept happening to me. This happens to me all the time, but it really happens to me when I'm giving a presentation. If there's a teleprompter with some words on it, I will not be able to read what it says. Also in the cognitive area of disability, there's autism, people who are on the autism spectrum, as well as ADHD. These two are actually quite common in people who study technology because People who have these kinds of disabilities tend to get a little bit frustrated at traditional school, like read lots of passages, memorize them, take tests on them. So they tend to become a lot more creative and work in worlds of tech, 3D, all of these kind of more creative fields. So people with ADHD and autism find really good homes in the tech industry. Fourth category is speech. So this is a person who may have a speech impediment. So that looks like stutter. The president of the United States, Joe Biden, has a speech impediment. He's very open about it. And someone who may not speak at all. They may speak through technology. They may speak through interpreters. They may speak through other methods. The fifth category is mobility. So this is someone who may have a spinal cord injury. They might be a quadriplegic. If you all remember, there's someone named Christopher Reeve. He played Superman. He had an accident and he used a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And mobility actually comes in the form of arthritis as well. So if anyone has worked in technology for a long time, they may get carpal tunnel syndrome in their elbows or in their wrists and hands, or they might have arthritis like I do. It's inherited from my dad. Thanks, Dad. So you may know many people who have these kinds of disabilities that are not super, super obvious. And the last one is neural. So these are what we call mental health. So people who may have depression, anxiety, PTSD, that sort of thing. So you can see why I believe that disability actually impacts a lot more people than we think. So I actually think 1 in 2 people are impacted by a disability of some sort. Either they have it or someone they love or who's in their life have it. And if you think about your life, that might actually be true, right? It's definitely true for me. My world looks like this. Right now, we're looking at a screen with a bunch of words that are mixed up. When I'm looking at a teleprompter and I see the sentence, my world looks like this, mine will look like that thing on the left, which are a bunch of mishmash of letters. And if you saw that mishmash of letters, you would think, what does this say? And my world looks like that a lot of the time. When I'm stressed, when I'm looking at a teleprompter, when there's a lot of attention on me, that's how my world looks. So it's a little bit terrifying. Now, the question I have been asking myself recently is this: how can we make everyone aware of the benefits of accessibility, right? Because disability affects so many people, there's this amazing little superpower called accessibility, assistive tech. How can we make everyone aware of the benefits and all of the opportunities? Assistive tech is everywhere. It's all around us. Captions on TikTok, assistive tech. Glasses, assistive tech. Having those handles on the sides of stairs so you can hold on to them, assistive tech. These are all assistive tech and they're everywhere all around us. So I decided to come up with a framework. I've been using this framework for a while, but I introduced it to my team just this week, and it is called the 100 Bad Ideas. You can find my write-up on it at aka.ms Bad Ideas blog. So if you go to the Bad Ideas blog, you'll see the detailed write-up. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this page right now or go to the site. That way you'll have it later and I'll walk you through the idea. aka.ms/Bad Ideas blog. Okay, so how the 100 Bad Ideas process works is this. You start with, what is the problem or question that you're trying to answer or solve? So the problem I'm trying to solve, Dona, is how can I get more people aware of accessibility and assistive tech all up? That is the question. People all throughout Microsoft, we have 180,000 employees, but also all of you in our community. How can I make all of this information that I've been gaining more easily available to people so they can use it or help people in their communities use it? That is the problem or question. Second thing is I built legitly a framework. I use an Excel spreadsheet for this, but you can use anything you want. This problem that we're looking at on the screen right now is not answers to the accessibility problem. It's for something else that I'd done previously in my team for Power Platform. Now, the method is this. You and your team, or you can do it by yourself too, list as many ideas as you have to solve that problem. Ideally, what you do is you go find your customer, the person who has this problem. It might be you, it might be someone on your team, it might be someone else, and bring them into this group. Like Scott talked to you a lot about how to build teams and groups. Your customer should definitely be a part of the team. even if they're a virtual member of the team and you call them sometimes, when you're going to solve a problem, make sure you know exactly who the customer is. If you cannot name their name, like what is their name, you don't actually know who the customer is or know if this is the problem. So once you have your team, everyone just write down ideas. The question that I asked my team previously that we did this exercise for was, how do you upskill the general population with Power Platform? We wanted everyone in the world to know about low code technology. We're like, we think low code can help lots of people. How can we make more people aware that the Power Platform exists? And you can see that some of the ideas, pretty bad. Okay, ready? I'm going to read you some of them. 1, get a power tour bus off of eBay, hook up with laptops and Wi-Fi, drive around the country, skilling people in various cities. Also can be done in a train with boxcars. That was my idea, of course, you can see. So the ideas have categories. There's idea, there's the suggester who came up with it. There's the like, as in I like this idea. There's the sponsor, meaning who wants to sponsor this idea, who wants to lead the idea. And then there's priorities, like do now or do later. It's really important with ideas not to rule things out right away. Just get them all down, because once you come up with somewhere above 25 ideas, good ideas start to emerge. You'll see if you read down this spreadsheet, and I'll read you some more of them, the ideas actually start to become good. So from my terrible Power Tour Bus idea, there's infiltrate community colleges and add Intro to Power Platform as a continuing education course. That's actually a really good idea. We should probably do that. Then you're back to my ideas. Grab an unused cruise ship and dock up to Chile and upskill everyone in Power using our bad Spanish. Now, this idea came because I saw all the cruise ships are unused and hanging out in the ports. I'm like, can I have one of those? Because this could make an amazing Power Platform school. Of course, we'd probably go to jail and get arrested, so don't do that. But it led to other ideas. Like Greg came up with, let's have a 24/7 Discord server where people can find one of us that's willing to help. Greg came up with, let's have a show that runs on actual TV. April came up with, let's have a Udacity course. Let's write a Power Platform for Dummies book. Let's teach Power Platform through TikTok. These are really, really good ideas. Some of these are excellent, but it starts with coming up with something really, really terrible. So how can you do it? First, remember Scott's thing from last time, gather up a team, right? Find people to work with. So all of you thinking about Imagine Cup, reach out to people who go to your school, who are in your community, and say, hey, do you want to get together and build a team? Once you have the right people, then the idea and everything else kinds of falls into place, okay? So get your team together, then figure out who is the customer that you'd like to help, and make sure your customer is a part of your team, all right? Then sit down and do the exercise. Come up with 100 bad ideas. Make an Excel spreadsheet, have it be shared, or you can create a Microsoft form and everyone submits their ideas and then auto-generates a spreadsheet with the ideas in it. You could do that too. Just come up with ideas. Just go. Don't filter yourself, right? Don't filter yourself. A lot of people are like, oh, this is a stupid idea, so I don't want to say it. You don't have to say it. Just write them down. Who cares? The point is that they're bad. It's called a bad ideas experiment because the ideas are bad. So once you go through and come up with 100 bad ideas, come up with at least 25, right? Come up with somewhere between 25 and 100. Then go through and vote. Like, I like this idea. I like this idea. I like this idea. And anything that you feel deeply passionate about, you're like, I really want to do this. I really want to run the experiment. Then vote to sponsor the idea. Okay, put your name down next to sponsor. Sponsor meaning I will come up with the exact plan or the experiment for how to try the idea. Because from idea comes an experiment. Say my idea was to go drive around the country and teach Power Platform to people. The experiment would be, let's just like get in a car and go to a nearby town and seeing if we can set up like an after school program or go to a community college and set up in the parking lot, right? That would be the experiment rather than committing to driving around to the entire country. And then you decide which of your ideas are you doing now, as in this week, and which of these ideas do you want to do later. And don't get into the practice of just crossing things out and saying we're never going to do them, because honestly, you never know. So what happened with accessibility? I am fully in it right now. I ran the 100 Bad Ideas experiment with my team on Tuesday, just Tuesday of this week. We have 125 bad ideas. Some of them are really, really good. The next phase will be to kick off probably 25 experiments. There are 30 plus people on my team, so we can do 25 experiments. We're going to reach out to our communities. Many people in our community have disabilities and they really want to help do some of these experiments. One of them I'll be reaching out to is pictured here. His name is Florian Bayers, and he's a very enthusiastic dev, and he really wants more people to be aware of accessibility. So my team is going to go forth now, and we're going to do the thing. And I really encourage you to create teams, find your customer, and do the thing. Thank you so much.